Let's break down the rest of this marking sheet and see what happened. So the very first thing we see here is they picked up a grade 2 for their rules and checks. This usually means they picked up 3 or more of their signs and questions wrong. The checks part of that could be the cockpit drill, just making sure your door is closed securely, your seat and your mirrors are in the correct position, and that your seatbelt is on. Next we see they picked up 2 grade 1s for technical checks. Technical checks usually means under the bonnet. As it also says in the RSA marking sheet guidelines, lack of expertise or inability to describe various checks. Next we see they picked up 1 grade 2 for hand signals. This usually means they got 3 or more of their hand signals wrong. So all these marks potentially happened before they started the driving test. The only exception would be the hand signals. Maybe they were asked during the test after a manoeuvre. So you have to imagine how much faith the tester will have in you after this. You've demonstrated you don't know the rules of the road, you haven't bothered learning your hand signals, and you haven't got a clue about under the bonnet when it comes to checking your oil. For all the tester knows now, you will just drive your car to death. You would never check the oil or the coolant, and you could potentially break down in the middle of the road somewhere. If you want to see a lot of helpful videos, go to the description and look for the playlist called Pre-Test Pack. Next we see they failed their driving test and got a grade 3 for position on roundabouts. So there's a number of reasons why you could fail your driving test for position on a roundabout. Just remember, when we're taking any exit before 12 o'clock, we're usually in the left hand lane on approach and around the outside of the roundabout. If we're taking any exit past 12 o'clock or to the right, usually we approach in the right hand side and we're around the inside lane of the roundabout. So the reasons why you could get a grade 3 for position on the roundabout will be for doing something dangerous. So imagine taking an exit to the right hand side and we're in the left lane going around the outside of the roundabout. That would be dangerous. Also, we're going to see they got a grade 3 for observation on roundabouts. So I'd say these will go hand in hand. There was probably a near incident on the roundabout and they got too close to another vehicle. Next we see they picked up a grade 2 for position turning right. So this comes up in most of the marking sheets I review. So remember, it's always straight up to the turn, just left of the centre line, and we want to steer when the front of our car gets in line with the centre line on the road we wish to drive down. So the reason why you could get a grade 2 for position turning right will be for cutting the corner, for swan necking the turn, for turning from the left hand side of the road, or turning from the incorrect lane. There's a few other reasons, but they're the main ones. This could also be turning right from a T junction. Again, just making sure you're all the way over to the centre line, just left of the centre line, and straight up to the T junction, and try not cut the corner when we steer. Next we see they picked up a grade 2 for position turning left. So this could be left into a side road. Usually it's when people are just too wide and they take the turn too wide, or it could be the reverse of that and they're way too close to the path. But usually it's too wide. It could also be a T junction. Remember, when we get to the T junction, we're supposed to bend around with the curb. Also, when we join the new road, making sure that we're in on the left as we come onto the new road. So turning left, mirror, signal position. So I know it's straight line up to the turn. I'm into second, I'm off the clutch, I'm still on the brake. I can't see, so I'm going to clutch in. In the first example, I showed you to position around the bend. But if you position it straight here, that will be a grade 2 for position turning left. And what will happen is you look right and left and we'll start moving. So I've taken that really wide and that will be a mark, that will be a grade 2 for position turning left. But now I'm also in the middle of the road. If I stay out here, I'll also get a mark for position on the straight. If you want to see a ton of bonus videos where I break down the full RSA marking sheet, please join the YouTube membership. You will be supporting the channel to help us make bigger and better videos. Next we see we're into observation, and we can see that they failed their driving test for observation moving off, and they also received a grade 2. So the reason why people usually get a grade 2 for observation moving off is simply not checking their blind spot before they move off. The reason why you could fail your driving test for observation moving off is sometimes when the tester can stop you at the side of the road, sometimes the tester will ask you to move off and people just go signal and drive. In that case, you could potentially get a grade 3 because you haven't looked whatsoever. Another reason would be, again, if it's something dangerous. So imagine if we're going to pull off, there's a car coming behind and we pull out in front of them, making that other road user slow down or stop. That would be dangerous, and that would also be a grade 3. Next we can see they picked up a grade 3 and a grade 2 for observation at the roundabout. So the reason why people generally get a grade 2 mark for observation at a roundabout will be for not looking out to the right and checking for cars approaching from the right hand side of the roundabout. So the reason why you would fail your driving test for observation at the roundabout will be for, again, doing something dangerous, like not looking to the right, pulling out in front of a car and having that car slow down or stop. I would imagine this grade 3 for observation on the roundabout is linked to position on the roundabout. It's hard to say exactly what happened, but they were probably in the wrong position and they didn't see a car, say, coming up the inside of them, and they went to exit and they didn't see them or something like that, and the tester felt that was way too dangerous. You didn't see the other car, you were also in the wrong position, so you are really at fault in both scenarios. Next, we see they picked up 2 grade 2s for observation turning left. This could be left into a side road or left at a T junction. A lot of the time I see people doing this, they're turning left into a side road and they look over their right shoulder out here when they're driving down here. That will be a mark for observation. Also, if you are looking where you're going when you turn left, you have to be seeing what's going on. If there's a pedestrian crossing the road or there's built up traffic, we don't continue to drive at hazards. So in that case, the tester will normally mark you for observation for not actually looking at what's happening. If it was a T junction, we probably didn't do enough observation right and left, or they did do enough, they didn't see a car coming and they pulled out in front of them, and the tester felt they didn't see the car rather than mark them for right of way. Next, we see they failed their driving test for getting 4 grade 2s for reaction to hazards. So that could be a number of different things. It could be for not reacting accordingly when there's a car parked on the left, or where there's a pedestrian crossing the road, or there's so many other reasons for that. If you want to see a full video for reaction to hazards, you can watch this top box here. Also, to see part 1 of this video, you can watch this box here.